In an earlier video, I mentioned how I never had much success raising or keeping platies. I've been doing this hobby for well over 30 years, and from time to time I would try these things and pretty much end up in failure and wiping out the rest of the tank because these little guys, they're so bred and overbred, and they got hardly any immune system in them. So when you get them, sometimes they're sick and you don't even know it. A couple of common ailments these fish have is they can carry ick, which is common for any fish that you acquire. You know, you really should quarantine them and watch over them for a couple of weeks in a separate quarantine tank before you even consider about putting them into your main tank. I started this Livebearer tank just to have some success of trying to keep these things alive longer than like 2 months. So about a month ago, I decided to take this little 10-gallon tank, clean it down, because this was the former urine a-hole fish aquarium tank for the fish that were in my main tank that wanted to be jerks and eat fins and all that other crap. So I would put them in here and keep them separate, and then most of the time they would have a drastic attitude change. And then as time went on, I had nothing to keep in this tank, so I just let it go. And of course, when I decided to restart this tank, it was pretty much everything from scratch, because I had nothing in here. It was a bare bottom tank. There was just a sponge filter in here and a heater and really nothing else. So I went on Amazon and I bought pretty much everything you see in here, the gravel in here and the plastic plants and the larger plastic plants and the filter. And of course, anybody with any experience with fish keeping know that when you start a new tank, you're going to deal with the new tank syndrome, having to deal with ammonia and nitrite and then eventually nitrates. But until you get the beneficial bacteria in here, you have to constantly watch over all your water parameters and your ammonia and your nitrates, and make sure that everything's in check, so these things can have a better chance. And another reason I started this tank is to have more success at raising these guys' babies. These platies, they have a brood of babies, anywhere from 3 to 40 babies at a time, and they're live bearing. They're free swimming. So one of the biggest reasons I bought this very large rock is so that they can all hide down deep in the bowels. They can, there's about a inch and a half in there, and they can hide out in there. And pretty much about 3 days after I started this aquarium and had all these platies in here, I've already seen babies in there. So there's currently 3 in there right now that I know of, and there's one right there. That was one of the firsts. He's about a month old now, and he's finally, starting to free swim and hanging out with the bigger ones. So already this aquarium has been a success. And to me, right there, That's a $6 fish. And there's 3 of them that I know that are in there, and who knows what else is in there. I have no idea who else is in there. But anyway, one of the first things I did when I started buying these things is, what can I do when I first get these to, pretty much cure them of any ailments that they may have. So the most common thing is ick, and another common disease that everybody calls these things. They get a wasting disease, and particular this one right here. That's went behind the sponge filter there. That's a female, so it definitely had Platy wasting disease, and what that is that sometimes they have worms in their stomach, and it just consumes every single nutrient out of their body, and eventually what that happens is they start to arc like this, and they start swimming like that, and eventually it'll kill them because they can't get enough nutrients in them to survive. So this one definitely had it, and it was wasting away. So I went to my local fish store, and I got a medication for them. And this is it right here. It's a Paracleanse, and it cures all the parasitic disease in them, from the outside ones and the internal ones. So they were on a pretty much a week dosage of this stuff, and that one particular Platy that was wasting away still had an appetite, and made a miraculous recovery, and is doing quite well now. It looks like a normal fish now. It's not perfect yet. It's still got a long way to go. And another thing that I've treated with these things is a medicated fish food, and it's a combination of antibacterial and antifungal and several parasitic treated flake food. And they all come in individual baggage, and I just combine them all and feed this on a regular basis to them. And the flake food is a very high quality food that's got a lot of stuff to make them live and recover from Platy wasting disease. So everybody's been treated in there, and I pretty much going to continue with this food until it's gone. So no sense wasting it, and they enjoy it, and they have a good time. So when I started this tank, of course I mentioned earlier that this was a new tank pretty much, and had to deal with new tank syndrome and stuff like that. So when I put this all together, I took my 406 fluval from my big aquarium, and I did a maintenance on it, and I squeezed out all the the foams and the bio bags and the whatever, and pretty much got a brown soup. And I took all that wastewater that would normally go down the drain, or you throw it out the window and feed the outside stuff with it, and I threw all of it right in this tank. And of course it made it into a muddy mess, and it looked bad, and I let this internal filter just suck it all up. So whatever got sucked up is in it. So it had all the, whatever beneficial bacteria was dislodged and hanging out with the dirt and grime. Pretty much some of it got sucked in the filter, and most of it was laying around in the gravel, and it pretty much started this aquarium instantly, other than have this already established sponge filter from the big tank and transfer it into here. So it pretty much made this aquarium an instant success. And like I mentioned earlier, like 3 days later, I started seeing babies in here. And there's a few more that are in there that I see from time to time. So eventually, this aquarium will be a self-sufficient and a present giver. So, you know, so if it comes to the point where this aquarium gets too crowded, I can just either put them in a big tank or bag them up and bring them over to the local fish store, and they'll buy them for, well, not really buy them, but give you store credit and yada yada yada. So another thing that's in this aquarium is not only these live mosses in here and other little stuff in here. There's also live freshwater shrimp in here that since I don't run a undergravel filter in here because of the situation I wanted to put this aquarium in of having the live bearing platies, and maybe someday even the shrimp will have their own little babies in there and start populating the aquarium. And so I have no underground, so I bought shrimp. So there's blue, yellow, and red shrimp in here, and they're all deep in that gravel. They very seldom come out. Every once in a while you'll see them swimming around, but not very often. They're all in the bowels, cleaning and picking and doing what they're supposed to do. So since I started this tank, you got to deal with the treating them and all that other stuff. So before I had the shrimp, I was using a combination of the Rid Ick and the Paracleanse. So that cured all the fish of all their ailments and stuff like that. But now, if I wanted to get more platies in here, like recently I just got these Showa koi swordtails, and of course you want to treat them just in case they have something, because even the swordtails, they are subject to the wasting disease and parasites and stuff like that. So knowing that I have shrimp in here, I have to be careful what I use in here now for medications. And the number one thing is I can no longer use this because it's not freshwater shrimp friendly. It'll actually harm them and kill them. So in my arsenal, I also keep the all-natural ick treatment, and it's safe for the shrimp. So always a good thing to have, a medication for your delicate fish and whatnot. So currently everybody's happy in there. I got pretty much all the unique platies in here. There's, if you notice, there's none of them blue ones and red ones and yellow ones. These are all unique from the breeding. So to go over them briefly, I got like these guys here in the center. These are Dalmatians, and got Dalmatian platies, and these guys here, it's hard to follow them right there in the center there. I'm trying to keep them centered. That's a tricolor platy. And these guys here, these are a calico platy, whatever you want to call them. And then some of the other orange and yellowish orange blackfish platies and platies that are in there are, they call them honeybees. And there's pretty much one male in there that's pretty much a honeybee. That's pretty much There he is right there. Almost, you know, having half black and yellow. And then, of course, I got the Showas in there, the Swordtails, and the blue spots. Blue spot Platies. So, pretty much all the unique Platies are in here. So, you know, like I mentioned earlier, there's already little babies in there. I showed them earlier in this video. There's a couple other ones that are in there. I don't know what color they are yet. They're only, you know, they're probably only about a week old. Don't know exactly what color they are. They might be yellows, the calicos, or the bumblebees, or honeybees. So that's about it for these little guys. So I've had this tank running for about a month now, and of course I got babies and freshwater shrimp in there that hopefully someday they'll have more babies if there's you know, females and males in there, and that's about it. It's been running for about a month now. I haven't had any casualties yet, other than the platies that were way too far gone when I first got them, and they pretty much I had to put them down when I see them just laying on the bottom, just struggling for life. And it's like, well, you're not going to live long enough to you know, go through the treatment process and make a recovery. So once you're an experienced fish keeper and you see pretty much the Grim Ripper standing next to them, you just put them away. And it's part of the hobby, you know, especially with Livebearers and any fish in general. It's it is a possibility that sometimes you just can't help them, and it's easier just to put them away. You can pretty much look up online on how to peacefully put these guys to bed for their final time. It's pretty simple to do. But yeah, that's it. The Livebearer tank. Little 10-gallon job. And so far it's been a success, and I really don't see any other issues in this one. So that's it for this video. We'll catch you on the next one. We'll do something else interesting with these guys. Maybe they'll start populating themselves to a point where I can put them in a big tank. So we'll catch you on the next one. Bye!